Hello everybody, this will be another series added to the order flow trading series in the EXO Charts playlist, so feel free to check that out. This is going to be a little bit more advanced, just kind of using order flow kind of all together. And so what I'm going to use as an example is the 3-minute time frame, and right now we are just going to take a look at the value areas. The value areas are kind of the highlighted areas you see with the candles right now, as Bitcoin is pumping pretty hard right now. What value area is really is just taking a look at the volume within each individual candle. So you can take a look at it as just using the fixed volume profile of kind of a single candle here. This isn't really a good example, but again, it's looking within the volume transacted within kind of the candle. So you'll see how this is kind of useful for kind of pointing out the bullish and bearish case scenarios. And so in this example, I am just going to turn off my CVD and just keep on my open interest along with my footprint bar stats. Now, the main thing that I'm going to be looking at is, again, the value area, clicking on the value area. And then my settings, you just hit settings, go to VA, POC, and balance. And then this is just adjusting it so it kind of shows more of a highlighted area. And this is my value area percentage, which is 68, which is pretty standard for trading. So anyways, we're going to be going over kind of bullish and bearish scenarios. Right now, I do see a pretty good bullish scenario, just looking at kind of the value areas within order flow. And so what the main thing you kind of want to look for is usually you want to see the value area pointing up towards the top of the candle, especially on the blue candles here. And so you want to have the most volume transacted towards the top of the candle. The reason being is that this provides a lot of momentum. And so this typically means momentum is going towards kind of the upside, or bulls kind of have the power and they're kind of pushing the price higher. And so this candle right here, you can see it had a value area, the highlighted part again, towards the upward portion of the candle. It isn't really a big candle, but you can see the next one here. Again, the upward part of the candle is more highlighted, the value area, and it leads to a higher price. Again, this is looking at it very, very locally. Usually I look at this on the kind of the 5-minute time frame, but really the higher the time frame, the better. I'm just using the 3-minute time frame with 15 tick size as an example, so to speak. And so that's kind of the gist of what you really want to be looking for. The second most important thing you want to be looking for is an increase in open interest. Again, this needs to be followed by an increase in price or a decrease in price. And so the open interest, I'd say, is kind of confirming the momentum to the upside in this case, since we did get an increase in open interest. Now, if we were going to the downside, typically, again, you want to see open interest increasing. That just means that there are longs stepping in. If we go to our net longs, you can see a good amount of longs increasing right here. And I'll give you a bearish scenario. There's plenty of bearish scenarios. It was just kind of a hard time to really be finding a bullish scenario in this case. And so that's kind of the two main things I look for right now is, again, the value area or volume in the uppermost part of the candle for a bullish scenario. And then you want to see open interest kind of following the momentum, so to speak. The second thing, or I should say the third thing that I really, really look for is an increase in volume and delta, just kind of following the move. And so typically with whenever you see increase in the value area and the upwardmost part candle, you want to look at your footprint bar stats down here, and you typically want to see that volume being significant. Significant meaning you want to see it turn gray. Here you can see it was this white color, and then we got 1.7 million volume on this 3-minute candle right here. very significant, and it turned gray along with it being a very dark blue. Typically, this is the ideal scenario you kind of want to see. So again, that's really looking at it for a bullish scenario. Now, if you put kind of the two things together, what kind of adds kind of towards the momentum and seeing if it's a really, really strong move or not is whenever you see these gaps in between the value area. For demonstration purposes, I am going to really darken this so you can see what I mean by this. So again, we're just looking at the bright part in the candle right now. And again, that is the 68% of the total volume that's transacted within the candle. And so what does this mean? Well, you can see when we had this gap up, again, a gap up in price, it led to a higher price. As you can see right now, we are pumping quite strongly. But again, this just adds extra confluence to your order flow readings. For the bearish example, using kind of the value area and kind of the order flow here, again, we can see, again, when price is kind of gapping down or when the value area, so to speak, is gapping down. Again, that's kind of one of the first things you want to be looking for. The next thing you want to look for is that increase in open interest as price is going down. And so that is always a good sign. You can kind of double check that by heading on into net shorts. And here you can see within this 3-minute candle that we did get a pretty good increase in shorts here. Again, I don't really want you guys to really be thinking of and looking at the numbers of net shorts and net longs. I just want to kind of compare the candle, if it's a big candle or if it's going up or down. So again, just don't really overthink it. Next thing here is typically you want to see more volume kind of within this candle. In this case, it is about 3 million. However, there is plenty of negative delta in this. As you can see, it's kind of turning that purple color. Typically you want to see a little bit more volume. That way you get a footprint bar that is kind of highlighted in grayish color. But again, you don't want to see very, very low volume on kind of these reversals. So this is kind of a medium amount of volume. But again, typically you want to see a little bit more volume. But within this, you can see that price did end up going down. And this would have been a pretty decent scalp short, so to speak. Another good example of this too is that we did have price kind of gap down, or the value areas gap down within this. We did get a large increase in open interest here. Here you can see a large amount of net shorts coming in, and a large amount of volume, followed and backed by a large amount of negative delta. And so price kind of lagged a little bit in this context, but it did eventually lead to lower prices if you kind of zoom out here. So again, value area is a very, very powerful indicator, especially when combining it with using the order flow. Just another example of a bearish scenario here. We had a gap down of, again, in between the value areas. And so we got a nice gap down here, backed by a nice increase in open interest. If you kind of zoom out here, the open interest even kind of gapped up too. So that was quite interesting. But nevertheless, again, a large increase in open interest, just turning on the net shorts here. Mainly a lot of shorts going into this candle right here into this kind of area here. And what it did lead to, it led to, again, price kind of dumping down pretty aggressively. However, this was kind of got a little bit of over aggressive candle, as there were some trap shorts kind of shorting on the bottom right here, which did lead to kind of an increase in price. But nevertheless, we did eventually kind of come down from that. But again, it's the power of really looking at the value area within this example too. is that just reading the footprint bar stats is that you can see much more volume coming in within this candle, and a lot more negative delta too, kind of outweighing the previous candle positive delta. And so here you have negative 1.4 million followed by a negative 4.5 million candle, and this easily outweighs the previous two candles here, where you can see a lot of positive delta came in, 33K, and again 500,000. So there's about 3 times as more shorts coming in as there were longs within this candle. So again, just another thing to really be looking for to kind of confirm what you're looking at with the footprint bar stats. One more example before we go here. Again, if you guys kind of learned something new from this video, again, just hit a like sub. It really helps out the video. Anyways, just one more last bullish example here using the valley area and just kind of looking at the valley area. Here you can see a large gap up in between this candle. It was nicely backed by an increase in open interest, and just peeking at the footprint bar, we can see a large amount of volume injected into this candle, along with a large amount of delta followed by in this candle. And what's more awesome too is you can see the kind of the same thing happening, even though this was kind of a short squeeze in a way. You can see kind of the following candle, we had a very, very nice increase in volume along with even more delta. So again, if you just spotted this candle within the trend, you would have had a pretty nice kind of scalp of a up move here. And so again, that's just looking at the valley area, and really only thing of looking at the valley area. And so again, this has been another kind of order flow video. I will make these more in the future. Just feel free to check out my EXO Charts playlist if you haven't already. I'll be adding that over the time and kind of redoing it as I kind of grow my channel here. So again, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.